Hey, welcome back. This episode isn't taking too much time, isn't taking place too much time past what the first episode did. I stopped and had some tea and yeah, still hyped, still amped. So I'm going to do some more before I go to bed. So I don't know how long this episode's going to be. Probably because of all the cutting, it's going to be pretty damn short. But anyway, I was still keen on playing, and I didn't want to do too much progress outside of what gets recorded. So first off, I upgraded the sieves to the iron stiffen mesh. Got myself a blaze mesh for the crucible, and also upgraded to a gold furnace. Neither of those things are too spectacular in themselves, but it's nice little upgrades. I also finished getting the tank for the porcelain melter and got that all sorted. Interesting thing is if you want to get the lava to here, we don't have iron buckets yet. Now there's a couple of ways. Well, there's one way you can get iron buckets before this, and that is through loot bags. So if basically your first thing is you set up a cobblestone built mob farm, you may have a bucket at this point. Your other options are using a whole bunch of clay buckets, or wasting a couple of clay buckets, because as soon as you use them to put the lava, then they break. So that's not too expensive of a thing to do, but wasn't how I was going to do it. Now, you can't use the fluid transfer node, because the fluid transfer node requires a bucket to craft. We don't have a bucket yet. That's the problem. So there was two options as far as I could tell. There is the embers. Oh no, embers requires a plate. I did not realize. Okay, so we couldn't do the embers one. I was thinking the embers one you could do, because I looked at the fluid extractor and the caminite plate. I'll just bookmark that because we'll be making some of that soon. But yeah, no, we couldn't do that one either. So what I ended up doing is creating a fluid duct and a servo, which were right here. Two things I could do fairly easy. So I just piped from the crucible into there and used the servo to push the lava from the crucible into there, so we could get started without wasting a bunch of buckets. And then it's kind of the usual thing: put a redstone clock on top, put in a couple of gold first to make a ingot cast, and hopper your grout into it. And I just used a transfer node here to go out. Can't make the flat transfer nodes yet. Well, I could have if I used the casting basin to cast out iron and to make the iron blocks, because you can't do iron blocks yeah. You can't do iron blocks as a craft. It has to be in the factorizer or cast out. So that would be the next thing. Is I want maybe 2 anvils. I need one for the crushing table. So the crushing table requires the anvil and zinc. So I have got zinc. You get that from sifting sand, easy peasy. So smelted down the 3 zinc I need. Now I'm just working on the anvil and also the bucket, so we can start getting some flat transfer nodes for fluid and stuff. And we've got enough seared brick here to start with the smeltery. So we can just make a 1x1 smeltery with what I've got. Once I've got the 1x1 smeltery, I can then smelt cobblestone into seared brick, which is a lot cheaper and easier than making a bunch more grout. So we got the iron stiffen mesh, the iron furnace, the gold furnace, the grout. Now for this one, these take the porcelain ones now, so I had to double check that that I had enough bricks, because otherwise if you only get halfway through, then you need to make another porcelain melter, etc. to then actually I don't know if I calculated those in there, so I won't. I made sure I had enough to that's a seared gauge. Is that all I can do? What was I missing for the seared gauge? Glass. Looks like I've used all my glass. Okay. Right. Okay, let's do one of these, at least for the quests. And we just need the seed tank, but what we can do is show you, so you can see I actually have created some concrete already. Now hopefully this still works. Let's actually try it with this. Although I don't think it'll work. I think it needs the, where are we? There we go. Now we can put that in. We can do it from here. We have 2 things of lava. So, okay, cool. I was worried it might join to the turn that on, fills up. There we go, start smelting. Let's do the other one of those while I remember. There we go, we've just doubled our capacity. And now we should put this down before we do that. If we do that, we've got that working. There we go. Cool. Let's put some more. That in there, and that in there. So, obviously, we're not going to keep with this tiny as little smeltery. This is just to get us started. So once these start going through a decent amount, we will be able to build the actual smeltery, but this gets us away from the porcelain one, and now we've completed that quest line. Yes, so crushing table. Actually, how much can this hold? 16 ingots. We need 18, right? So I am just going to do this for a second. Cool. So what I'm going to do is, actually I need another 9. So that will get me the 3 blocks I need for the first anvil. Actually, I can use that to make the flat transfer nodes first, and then make the crushing tables. So that's what I'll do. Is I'll make some flat transfer nodes, then make the crushing table. Then that allows me to make a bucket, which then allows me to make a sink, which then allows me to remove this and use the sink. And then with the fluid transfer nodes, I will be able to automate pushing water into the barrel. And then with hoppers or item transfer nodes, I'll be able to push in the concrete, and that will turn my concrete powder into concrete. And I'll craft up a bunch of that, and while that's running, I'll probably start with the mob farm, because this you can't dye the concrete as far as I can tell. Once kitchen floor, you can chisel it to the different patterns, you can pulverize it down or print it, but that's it. You can't it's not like wool. Actually, I don't know. Anyway, I can't make a bunch of white concrete and then dye it later to what I want. I need to have the grade dye first. And so the way to get the grey is there's a couple of ways. One is to get the atomic reconstructor and put the dye lens on it, and then use that on lapis, cocoa beans, or bone meal to rotate between the dyes and get the one I want. The other way is to have black and white, which can be bone meal and squid ink. Squid ink you can get from loot bags. There's squid beaks, so you can get these squid beaks from here, and then the squid beaks turn into ink sacs, so then you can craft those with okay, I have no idea about any of this. Yeah, then you can craft those with bone meal to get the grey, to make the grey concrete powder, which I need a bit of that as well. The design I've got, white is the main flaw, but there's a lot of like grey accents, and one of the first things I want to make sure of is that we've got the walls and stuff going, so and actually I need a lot of glass too, so let's do a lot more glass. Yeah, so that's what I'll be doing. Okay, it's the drain. Let's put that down. Let's make sure we're outputting iron. Yeah, it always seems slow. But you know what they say, a watched pot never boils. So when you're not actually watching some of this stuff, that's why I like getting like the hopping bonsai and the basic cobble gen going really, really fast as soon as possible. Is even though this is really slow, look, I've been doing a bunch of stuff, now I've got a chest full of cobblestone, you know. I've been doing a bunch of stuff, now I've got a couple stacks of wood that I can turn into planks and stuff. So yeah, it's it allows you to get on with other stuff while it's working, so it doesn't matter how fast or slow it's working. That's why I'm not too worried about how fast these machines and stuff work, because if you get them onto the job as early as possible, you know, you can get a lot of stuff done, and that's going to be my philosophy for like capacitors and some of these other things that take a really long time. So for example, you've got these melodic capacitors which require 2 crystalline, which require 2 energized, which require 2 energetic, which require 2 silver, which require 2 grainy. So to make one of these is like a stack of these. But if you set up the auto crafting really early to do these things, you can have a lot of this done. Now that's 2. I think I miscalculated. Oh, it's doubling it. Of course. Let's not do more than I need to right now. Anyway, I'll cut here and I'll bring you back once I've got a bunch of concrete going and maybe even half started the mob farm. Right, quick update. Got the anvil, so we're back to doing some cobblestone. Yeah, I'm getting a bunch of seared bricks. Actually, I might. I think I've got a bunch of cobblestone in here. Just chuck that in and get some more. Can't hurt to have a bunch more. I'm not ready to build the. I just see the light thing up there. I'm not ready to build the area that the smelter is going to live, so there's no harm in leaving this going. The main thing is that I'm manually keeping it fed with lava. It's not a full-time job, just every now and then keeping it full. So got my crushing table, therefore I got my buckets. As you can see, I just use them. Also made some fluid transfer nodes and the sink, so no more vanilla Minecraft infinite pull. The sink takes care of that. I can grab water out whenever I need. So I'm pushing into the barrel, and then on top I've got a bunch of concrete powder, and that is slowly being turned into grey and white concrete. So I got the grey by getting ink sacks the normal way. I went into journey maps, and you can't see it because the text is really tiny and the videos get downscaled quite a bit. I play on 4K and the videos get downscaled to 1080, so yeah, you won't be able to see, but journey maps shows you the biome where your cursor is pointed at, and so I moused around and hoped to find a ocean or a river, and I found a river here. As far as I can tell, this is basically the closest. So I pull it out to here and pull it up. You can see there's a squid now. Right up there, he may drop. Yep. So, yeah. Because I wanted the concrete before I set up the mob farm, kind of would have been easier to set up the mob farm with cobble and then pull it down and redo it, I guess. Especially because the mob farm I'm going to be building, you know, the design is kind of like a manual mob farm, which we can add a bit of automation into, but yeah, eventually you don't need that type of mob farm and it'll be replaced anyway, so probably should have just built it with cobble, got a few loot bags and stuff, and then moved on with a new design. But anyway, I wanted my concrete, so I got it. There's two more squids, so you can see if I sit here, it's pretty good. Squids spawn really quick, so I've got 28 ink sacks just from standing around here. I've got a bunch before, that's how I got my grey with the bone meal. And yeah, I've gotten a few loot bags. So yeah, even another one dropped just there. I can't, without an ender pearl, I can't make any kind of hopper thing unless I make the whole platform out of hoppers. So I can't really pick up those drops, but that's that's fine for now. We're going to be getting so many loot bags and stuff. I could probably even demolish this now with the amount of ink sacks I've gotten, but I just want to leave it up just in case, because there is a lot of building to do, and I mean, the quicker I can set up like a whole chest of grey concrete to go, the better. This goes really slow because this goes really slow. These fluid and item transfer nodes are really not the fastest. Actually, because I have these ones, and I'm missing a couple of these fluid ducts, I think. Yeah, I think that might be quicker. But the thing about the transfer nodes and stuff is that you can make the flat ones, and they actually get fairly fast when you do the upgrades and things. There. Yeah, so you can see there's a piece of wheat. That's what I got from the other loot bag. Paper is always handy. I've also changed the cobblestone over to a barrel. So yeah, we've got first barrel quest done. Another quest we finished was the Certus quartz. That's just from sifting. You grab that. I'm actually going to use the crystal growth chamber for quartz, so I will probably go through this quest line to make a flux crystal just to unlock it, then the crystal growth acceleration. There is a possibility we can just do this now, actually. A charged Certus quartz. Oh no, I don't have any nether quartz at the moment. So there's several ways to get nether quartz. Obviously one of the nicest is to get it from seeds, or going to the nether, but we can sift soul sand to get nether quartz. It entirely depends on how quickly Magneticraft sieve. What can this get? Nickel and aluminium. This iron, copper, silver, and gold. So it looks like it's more about getting more out of these. See, these are all nice, but when you've got sieving and stuff, it's really hard to justify setting all this stuff up, because you yeah, I'm pretty sure I've looked at these before. It's just not worth the effort, because you can quite easily scale out the sieving, and so that's 15,500. So, you know, for like sand, that's interesting. 1% nether quartz. I mean, it's not that hard to get like a whole bunch of stacks of sand, and then we've got nether quartz for black quartz and for doing the flux crystals, and then using that to grow the quartz thing. Flint would have been handy-ish previously, but there's just no reason to make these things. Iron stiff mesh, iron plate. Some of those things, they're very iron intensive, the Magneticraft machines. We will be making a few of them, but Yeah, see, that's a lot quicker. Might do it. Yeah, there's no real purpose in setting up any of these things other than just to do it for the fun of it. It's the same with the mechanism stuff. Not slurry. Crystal. So to do 5 times ore processing and mechanism, I love doing that stuff because it's so complicated and involved, and it's so nice once it's all running to see it go through the whole process. But when it's only lead, silver, tin, copper, osmium, gold and iron, it's just not worth it, not at all. And that's, yeah. So you can do lithium. It's basically the only one that you... What is this? And salt. I think salt's real easy to get anyway. Not that you probably need that much salt. Yeah, that's right. Pam's Harvest Craft just gives it to you straight away. So there's no need to set up this whole, gaseous brine. Brine from doing all the nuclear stuff. But yeah, maybe I'll have a look at it if I get curious enough. Yeah, because if I just need a couple of quartz for to get this going, because with the crystal growth chamber, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. We can make these, and they can be used pretty much. Actually, are we even getting any? Oh, that's right. That's why I wanted to do the quartz seeds, because you can use this quartz from sifting. So I only need one piece of quartz to do the quest, and then it's not really a fan of like rushing off to the nether when I'm not prepared. Don't have a bow for ghasts or anything. The other one is the hunting dimension. Once I feel like I'm set up pretty good, hunting dimension, nether end, be rushing through all that sort of stuff to get, because there's a lot of good stuff. So yeah, I will go ahead and start using some concrete to build out the base and set up mob farm, and yeah, I will probably bring you back once that's set up. So yeah, I hope this has been running long enough, because I'm getting a bit tired now. So wanting to head to bed, so I don't even know if I'll finish getting the mob farm done or what. Yeah, it's a bit of a pain, unfortunately, because all my designs, I've recently built a new computer, and so all my designs and stuff, I'm not even sure if I have pictures of them on my old computer. What I do have is another world in a previous version of Project Ozone, which has these things, and Yeah, I don't know how keen my computer is going to be on running 2 versions of Project Ozone at once. I might try it just to load into the world. The world I'll be loading isn't that complicated, but yeah. I don't want to do it off memory and I've completely misforgotten and make everything the wrong shape and stuff. It took me a long time to sort out the design. I'm very happy with it. It's not my strength to just come up with this stuff on the fly, so I like to be a bit prepared. And then I know what materials I've got, and when I'm trying to expand the base, I know exactly where to do it and how to do it. It makes it a lot easier, the decision making and stuff. So yeah, I will cut out here, and hopefully I can have a look at the stuff. If I can't, it'll probably just be a quick goodbye and then leave it at that. Yeah, I think for the first day we've gotten a fair bit done. Doesn't really look like a fair bit when you look at my base. It's like it's tiny and stuff, but yeah, progression takes a while. Oops, I didn't mean to grab that. Yeah, so I'll leave it here and we'll be back. Right, so this is a bit of a change from what you would have just seen. This is the start of the base. Yeah, went fairly smoothly. Replaced all the bottom cobblestone with the concrete. Got the grey concrete, building up the walls. So this is leading off to where the mob farm will be. This is just some glass panes. Yeah, taking down the smeltery. Got all this stuff in my inventory. Lots of bricks now. I'll leave that because I need to make a whole bunch of tables and stuff. Yeah, don't know. I guess once we've got like a stack of ink sacks, yeah, I'll probably clean this up as well. Once we've got the mob farm, we won't need it anyway. The main thing is I need to swim all the way up to grab the water. And this is what I was worried about. I mean, nice to have slime balls, but slimes can be very dangerous for pushing you off the edge. That's why I am very happy now that I've kind of got an edge. I need a whole lot more white concrete so that I can build out this platform too. So these are the two things that we want low. This is going to be embers here. We're on Y10, so we'll probably have to step it down for the bore. The ember bore needs to be at Y5, I believe, but that's pretty easy from where we are right now. And then this will be the mob farm. The sieving is going up here, and the smeltery is going up here. So that's my priority now. really finished any quests, just a bunch of building. Yeah, that's my priority now, is I'll clean this up now that I've got a whole bunch of that, more than a stack. A stack and 2 ink sacks. I have no bone meal now because I've used it all. But we will easily get a lot of that once the mob farm's up and running. For now, I will just make a bunch of dust and sift it. I will finish pushing out 24 blocks that way with that, set up the mob farm. That will get us a whole bunch of goodies. Probably push that platform out just a little bit like this, just so it's not a precipitous edge right there. Start building some of this, but the easy one will be this, putting that platform out and putting the smeltery and stuff on it, because we've already got all the smeltery and things. It's just getting the concrete ready for it. String, yeah, no. One thing you may notice is, and one thing I like about concrete is you run faster on concrete, but it's something to be aware of when you're trying to get around, because you can very easily fall off if you forget. So yeah, got some slime balls. It's handy to have some of those, but having slimes just show up is not that handy. Yeah, so I'll leave it here for now. It's like 1:30 AM. I'll probably upload this tomorrow morning, and yeah, then a bunch of sieving and hopefully get all that stuff sorted. It's just gonna take time. So yeah, I'll see you next time.